yeah, just kind of drawing on what you were saying there earlier about, I wanted to kind of ask about how genre and storytelling more generally can allow us to discuss issues that are very relevant to our current day,
Mm.
but puts people maybe in a bit of a safe space. You know, the fact that you're going through the entertainment angle, the fact that you're not talking about something that is right there in front of you, allows people to talk about, you know, like we're saying, Handmaid's Tale, for example, allow people to talk about women's agency over their own bodies. You know, you can talk about the power that people have, but you've made it manifest through it being this kind of way of storytelling. So how is genre and storytelling important?
Mm.
Well, yeah, I mean, we need to see ourselves in storytelling, all of us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And this is such an inclusive story because it is about equality. I'm having a brain fart again.
No, storytelling. Storytelling is the way we can play with and see our real lives, but in a safe way. You know what I mean? Because it's not real.
Entertaining.
Yes.
And you can go into great detail and there are metaphors involved, but you can, there's an objectivity to it,
Right.
which makes it slightly safer. And it also allows people to come to it on their own. You're not shoving it down their throats. They can go, that's just like our experience. You know, it is not didactic or dogmatic.
Yeah, and you can learn because you're right. It's not the real world as we see it, but it reflects it.
Slightly removed, but also very grounded.
And then you can
similar
see it.
enough for us to see and feel ourselves.
And you can role play with it through the actors and the characters, you know, as a person, like with all the things going on in the USA with, you know, abortion being banned, the abortion pill being banned, books being banned, transgender being banned.
In South Carolina for a woman.
So it's kind of going on. When the movie is going on in America, you know, transgender people getting power, women getting power, people of color getting power, and the white patriarchy being upset by it and wanting to, you know, diminish them.
Hold on to their sense of power. You know, it's called the power for a reason.
True.
I mean, you know, we were all born into a patriarchal world, subscribing to certain ideas and rules and systems and structures, and this just turns it on its head. It just kind of creates this beautiful opportunity for potential change and explores what it might be like. And, you know, the power that these girls have is a metaphor for a power that I think we all inherently possess, whether we identify with it and nurture it or not. And I mean, I just found it so exciting to be a part of a story where there were so many different women. You know, during the shoot, we were shown this kind of trailer, and I couldn't believe it. I was just woman
so
after
powerful.
woman, you know, all these different females exploring their own sense of power and self-knowledge. And it's really important, I think, for girls especially, but women of all ages, to see other females on screen exploring that sense of power and autonomy and basic safety, you know, and agency and sovereignty. It's just very inspirational.
And for men to see it. And
it's important for men to see it as well, but it's really important for women to see it, to know that that's normal and essential. But, you know, equality is important and that is essential. Achievable.
You're not there yet in the real world, but
it's a bit of a transition because everyone's so stuck in their ways. But it's something that just has to happen. We've begun the journey, but the road may be long.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what Toni said, that we can all have power, and that we're all born with power, like you said, and then, you know, the world takes it from you, or life takes it from you, or you let the power go. So it does. You're right. It does exist within all of us, and then it's how do we keep it, and how do we give it to the others?
How do we give it?
Yeah. Even though the show is about electrical power, in real life it's about sort of
personal
self-love, and being able to actualize your dreams.
Australia.
All that Vegemite all day long.
The worst attempt at doing an Australian accent I've ever heard.
No, you love it. She loves when I do my Australian. Good day, good on ya, Sonia. Oh my God, it was incredible. Like everything that you're saying is exactly what I experienced. She's so generous. She's so present. She's so empathic and vulnerable. and powerful and just a joy to work with. And it just her acting skills are on a whole other level. Like she's one of the best actresses working today. And I felt so lucky and so fortunate. You know, everybody I told I'm working with Toni, but I was like, no way, I can't believe it. I'm so jealous. I'm like, that's right, motherfucker.
Toni, just quickly, you turned a special number recently, 50. I hate to say ages in front of women, but what is the one thing you
I'm
know
proud
for
of
sure
all of
about
my
this
experiences
business?
in life. I'm proud to be 50. There's nothing wrong with my age.
Perfect. So what do you know for sure about this business of show business now that you're 50?
What do I know about show business? Well, it's something that I've actually known for a long time. There are so many opinions. Everyone will have an opinion. You know what? The person you should listen to is yourself. You live with yourself. You know yourself best. I think nurturing a sense of intuition and self-knowledge and self-acceptance, which ultimately leads to self-love, is the most important thing. Then you can fly in any area of your life.
Oh, there's that flying power again.
I know. People have been asking us which power we would want if we could have a special. You know,
And she wanted to fly.
I want to fly.
I wanted to be invisible.
Questionable.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, God. It's a dream to play a woman who's so complex, who really assumes so many different roles and has, you know, inherently in her job has a certain amount of power. But she's a mum and she's married and, you know, she's just got so many plates spinning. And I think that balance is really difficult to achieve in life. And you see that, you know, what the change that's brought about with this new power, with this new sense of evolution and how it presents is far-reaching. It's a big global change, not unlike COVID in its scope, right? But our particular part of the story is this kind of intimate family structure and how it affects all of us, really. Our daughter has the power. But to play a politician who's actually inspirational and actually listens to people and wants the best for people and is somewhat selfless and has good intentions was just wonderful.
Yeah, to see a good politician.
Yeah.
I want men to imitate me. All men around the world. And realize
facial hair.
Well, not that far, They could do better than that. But I think men accepting that women are equal, that they have a place in society, that they can run things, that they can be executives, that they can be presidents, that they can do
anything that a man can do.
And better, you know, equal or better. And I think men need to start understanding that and make room and be able to live in a space where women can be the leaders. She can be the breadwinner, the ambitious one in the relationship, the alpha in the relationship. And as a man, you're okay. It doesn't diminish you. It makes you better.
Somebody else's power does not bring you down. You know, there's room for everybody. We are all equal, and it should be so. Look, I kind of came to this project at the very last minute, and in terms of preparation, there was zero time. Thankfully, I had the luxury of working with incredible material. So it was very, very well informed. And I felt very supported in terms of just knowledge from everyone on set, the writers, the producers, people who'd been living with this project for much longer than me because it started prior to COVID, right?
Yeah. 2020.
I mean, there were certain women I did look to, Jacinda Ardern being one of them. And I went to see, I just think this woman, Marianne Williamson, is so incredible. And she was speaking in Vancouver while we were shooting. I was very inspired just by the idea of, I don't know, the difference between, look, there are good male politicians, but there just seems to be so much ego involved in politics. Right. And this woman really does want and ultimately steps up and is quite selfless in terms of her intention, which is to basically help all of these women who are going through this unbelievable change that they don't know how to handle. So to play like a truly good person who's in politics, who wants the best for humanity is an inspirational and refreshing look at things.
Lorenza?
But in terms of preparation, honestly, I really had very little time, and I really did mostly just work with the
But
scripts
you're right.
that I had.
When the writing is great,
Sometimes you don't need to look beyond it.
Yeah,
when the writing
and when the writing is amazing. There are times when the writing is weak, and you have to like.
Then you kind of build up your own world to create a sense of reality. But I felt like it was very much there, in what I was given on the page. I think it's difficult to generalize, to be honest. I think we all have many and varied experiences. But as we've been talking about all morning, we are steeped in the patriarchal world, and when you move beyond the cliches that we've all experienced, it shouldn't be, but it is a relief. We should be free to work and have purpose and explore our gifts and be powerful in ourselves. But since the 50s, it's changed somewhat, but it's still very slow, and we're still very much working on these changes. They can't come swiftly enough, but thank God we are even having this conversation. Thank God that this show is even being made, and that we're aware. I think awareness is the beginning of change,
right.
and the world is waking up to what needs to change, to these essential changes. We're in a transition, and the transition is uncomfortable for a lot of people, but I think it's an exciting time because it means that things can actually change and are changing when people seem to be threatened by it or made to feel uncomfortable with it.
I mean, if you don't have half the population, you're losing so much talent, so much wisdom if you're not tapping 50% of which is women. And people of color, and the show taps into all that. It shows you when young black women get power, and Latin women and white girls and Jewish girls, and they all get this power, and they can change their society and they can protect themselves. And I don't know. I think the show is such a great metaphor for what's going on in the world right now, and the changes happening in the world, like where women are actually being allowed to have the power they deserve, and people of color are being allowed to have a voice, and young people are allowed to be seen. It is a change, like Toni was saying, and it's uncomfortable, and people got to get over it.